Hi, this is Candia with Candia Hainsworth Designs, and thank you so much for joining in. I am doing a demonstration on cutting out my logo using the Cricut Maker. Okay, and so I'm already into the Cricut design space, and I just wanted to give you a quick demonstration on how this is done. Okay, so once you log into Cricut design space, you are going to come to this screen where you're going to see something that looks almost like the Cricut cutting mat, and then you're going to see on the left side of the screen the things that you can do with the Cricut design space. Okay, so the plus sign means new. That's when you are starting a new project. The templates I really thought was cool because inside of the templates they have all kinds of things that you can preview and project your image onto, like sweatshirts, t-shirts, tank tops, and that sort of thing. And then here's where your projects would be saved. They also have built-in images that you can use, as well as built-in text, as well as built-in shapes. But down here below, this icon is going to enable me to upload my image. And so I am just going to click on it, and as you can see, it's going to take you to this page. It's going to give you the option of uploading an image or uploading a pattern. Now, remember, the Cricut Maker does cut fabric, and so this is really good for sewing projects. However, for images, you are going to click upload image. Now, my image is already uploaded, but I am going to go through it real quickly so you can see where you would retrieve your image inside of your computer. Now, the Cricut Maker or the Cricut design space reads images in JPEG, GIF, PNG, BMP, SVG, or DXF files. Okay, now this is just the format. All right, and so the logo that I am going to be looking for, the format is going to be SVG. I do have my logo saved in the JPEG, the GIF, and PNG format, but today we are going to be using the SVG file. Okay, so I'm going to click on upload, and then it's going to bring you to this screen where you can drag and drop, or you can browse. Now, if you go to browse, you are going to go inside of your computer. I'm already inside of my my folder here, and I'm just going to put in SVG in the search box so it can bring it up. Otherwise, I would have to look through all those files, and we don't want to do that. Okay, so once I have brought it up, I'm going to click on open, and you're going to see a preview of the image that you are going to be cutting. Okay, and so it's going to give you the option of naming your image. You can rename it, or you can leave it here like so as the same. It's going to give you the options of making tags. Now, at first, I didn't understand why, but then, once I started to test drive this a little bit more, I realized that, oh, you can have a lot of images saved here, and to help you find them, they recommend tags. So for here, I'm just going to put in Candia and logo, okay? And so my logo personally will be saved here in, several different times because I'm going to be saving it in several different sizes for different projects. All right, so after you do that, you want to click on save. And then it is going to save your logo, and then it's going to bring you back to that page. However, your logo is going to be here. Now, keep in mind, I've already done this several times, so that's why you see here, and I've also done different projects as well. Okay, and so I just want to scroll down just a little bit, and then I'm going to click on this file that I just recently uploaded, and you will see this green button start to appear. Okay, and I'm just going to click on insert image, and it's going to take me back to that design space. Now, I gotta tell you that when I did this for the very first time, I was a little confused because once it brought me back to the Cricut design space, okay, I didn't see my logo. Where's my logo? And so I looked over here on the right side of the screen, and I saw that it was here in regards to being uploaded properly, but I did not see it. Okay, and so I scrolled down, and I just went all the way over to the screen. No logo. Okay, and then I went up here and I scrolled down. No logo, and I was totally confused, but I kept on going. I kept on going. And then boom, I see something here. And then when I scrolled over, I realized that my logo was super big, okay? And so it wasn't that it was missing, it was just super big and it could not fit on the Cricut design space, so it put it under the mat. Okay, so in this case, what you will have to do is simply just shrink it down to size. shrink it down, and you'll have to do this all the way until it is able to be small enough where it can be on the Cricut mat in the Cricut design space. Okay, and so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just shrinking it down, and as you can see, the dimensions is going to be shortened as well, or reduced as well. And then once it's reduced to a regular size like so, then you can bring it up. Okay, and now we are too far down into the Cricut mat. As you can see, we are down at 55 and 56 inches. That is way too big. And so we just want to bring it up. And so this is going to take you, about a minute or so. It doesn't take that long once you know what you're doing. But I got to tell you, at first I was in full-blown panic mode because I didn't know what happened to my my logo. And so while I'm doing this, I will tell you a little bit my experience about the Cricut Maker and the Cricut design space. All right, so when I first unboxed it, I was very impressed by the beauty and the presentation overall. And if you want to see the unboxing video, I will post the link below. All right, so in that video, you will see that I took out a little box and I opened it, and it had a black book, which I thought was an instruction manual. Well, turned out it was just a welcome booklet and more or less like a catalog. Okay, and so what it showed in that black book was things that you could buy using that was compatible for the Cricut Maker and other accessories. So what I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, is it doesn't come with an instruction manual. Okay, and so for me, those of you who watch my videos and follow me, no, I don't do headaches. And so instantly I had a headache. I had a headache because I had absolutely no direction on what to do once I took it outside of the box. Okay, and so here it was. I had this beautiful machine, well presented, with no instructions and no help. Okay, so I went on YouTube and I found some YouTubers that were very good at walking me through this process, and thus that led me to being able to get here. Okay, so we are back in the Cricut design space. My logo is shrunken down, and now I just want you to see the dimensions here. Okay, so that means that this is roughly going to be a little bit under 8 inches wide, and it's going to be about 4 inches high. Okay, now if that is something that I want, because it is going on a tank top, then it would be great. And I think that I am okay with this size, so I am going to tell the Cricut design space to make it. So up here in the upper right area, I'm going to click make it. And it's also going to prompt me in just shortly to plug in my machine. But the next screen is this. It's going to take it to the cutting mat, and it's very simulated to the cutting mat that you will have. Okay, and you can tell the machine what size material that you are going to have. For this, something like this, I probably would use one of my scrap, because I wouldn't want to put a whole 12 by 12 sheet up here, especially if I'm only going to cut it, in this area right here. Okay, so the next thing that you have to do when you are applying the HTV to anything is you're going to have to flip it, mirror it, reverse it. In this case, Cricut Design Space refers to it as mirror. So you want to just click on that button there, and it's going to turn your logo or your image on the reverse side. All right, now next I have to press continue, but from here on, the computer is going to be prompted to be plugged inside of the Cricut Maker. So I'm just going to click on, and then it says to continue, please connect your machine. So I'm going to so my machine, my Cricut Maker that is plugged up into my laptop. I had to transport my laptop over to where the Cricut Maker is plugged in. Okay, so I'm going to press continue, and at this point now it does recognize that the Cricut Maker is plugged in, and it is now going to ask you, what are you cutting this on? And in my case, I am cutting this on vinyl, and then it's going to tell me what I am going to need and what I should be doing next. So it's going to tell me to load my tools and load my mat. So in this case, if I was changing the blades, now would be the time that I would load in my fine point blade, which is going to be in that clamp B. Okay, but one of the things about the Cricut Maker is that it does come preloaded with this clamp B fine blade, and that was a good thing because I would have been totally lost and totally confused had I needed to clamp this in myself. All right, and then it's going to prompt me to load the mat and press. So I'm going to now bring the camera over to the Cricut Maker so you can see exactly what it is prompting you to do. Okay, so this is clamp A and this is clamp B on the Cricut Maker. And what it is saying is that this is the fine point blade, and it does come preloaded in your Cricut Maker, and that was a plus for me because I would have been totally lost. Okay, and so this is the correct blade that is needed for this project. Notice this flashing light pointed up and down. It is prompting me to load my mat into the Cricut Maker. Okay, so I have my mat here, and I just want to show you that where the mat is going to go. So there are guards here on both ends of the Cricut Maker. I'm going to put my vinyl. Okay, now the vinyl that I'm using, it has a shiny side, as you can see, and it has the dull side. Okay, so it's going to go down with the dull side upwards towards you and the shiny side down. Okay, so I'm just going to place it here, pair it up. And once again, with little projects like this, you can use scraps. So notice that I'm not using a full 12 by 12. And I am just going to, let me see if I can get closer on that. I'm just going to pair this point up, this corner up with this guard here. And let me just see so you can see what I'm doing here. So as you can see, it has like a little notch right there. Okay, so I'm just going to slide it in like so, and it has one of these on both sides. Okay, and then once you slide it in, you want to press that loading button. Okay, and then it's going to bring it inside, and you're going to see the Cricut Maker scanning it. Okay, because it wants to take a look at pretty much what you have in or loaded onto the mat. And now you're going to see this button. Okay, and then what's going to happen is it's going to prompt me to press that button, and it's going to begin its cut. But okay, so I am back over at the Cricut Maker, and I'm just going to press that Cricut icon, and it is going to begin scanning it just to see how big or how wide the material is, and then it is going to begin cutting out my design. And so we are moving down to a completion of this design. It is just cutting out those numbers that is on my logo. And it stops. Okay, so when it is complete, you will see the arrow. The arrow will start to flash again, and that is going to prompt me to remove the cutting mat from the Cricut. Okay, and so the Cricut Maker rather. And so I'm just going to press that button, and as you can see, it slides out. And I don't know if you can see the cutting, you know, the imprint of the cutting. So now what I like to do is I'm going to meet you back over at my little trimming station, and I'm just going to cut the excess off, and we're going to begin what I am not really fond of, the weeding process. Okay, so the first thing that I like to do thus far while doing this weeding process is I like to cut off the excess that is reusable. Okay, so in this case, I don't know if you can see that. You'll see the cut here, but then you'll have a big piece here that we could reuse again. I know some people don't use scraps, but this was a scrap, and as you can see from another project, it is quite usable. And so I use a rotary cutter to do this because this is a cutting mat, which means that it is forgiving. It's self peeling. And so I just find my my area where my image is, and then I just cut around it. Now you want to watch your fingers. Okay, you don't have to make a deep cut. It's just like a little slice. And then make sure that it's on lock. And then I just peel the part that I'm going to reuse over. Okay, and so let's say, where did I cut it at? Oh, I didn't cut the the beginning part of it. Okay, and so as you can see, it just comes right off. Okay, and now this part is going to be reused for another project in the future. All right, and so now I take it off of this cutting mat, because for me, I can't really see. Okay, and so I just want you to see the cut here, and then I'm going to start weeding it off. Okay, so I'm going to put it back on the mat, but I just wanted to show you how I do this. First, I find a point here and in the corner. Okay, so just a point, and I'm using one of my tools. I'll actually show you these tools. Matter of fact, let me just grab it before I forget. So these tools are going to be found on my website. And these are, I gotta tell you, I absolutely love these tools because they are like surgical tools. They're very sharp. They're very precise, the points. And they have all these little different picks and hooks, and I just love it. Okay, they're kind of heavy too. These are equivalent to like surgical tools. So these are not these little plastic metal looking things. No, these are the real deal here. Okay, they are stainless steel and they have some weight to them. Okay, and so right now I'm using this one. What I like to do once again is I like to find where I can kind of insert. Can you see that? Insert. Matter of fact, let me get a little closer. You know, I like you to have a good shot. Okay, so I'm going to insert my tool just in the corner here, okay? And I'm going to put it in between. I'm not sure if you can see that. I hope you can. But you have your sheet. You see me pulling it apart? Okay, see me pulling it apart? Yeah. And I want to put my tool away. Actually, I don't need to put it away because I want to need it again. And I'm just going to peel. Okay, now I'm using the Caesar's brand Easy Weed. So this is very easy. And now I'm going to be careful because remember, I have little letters and very thin letters in my logo. So I just want to be careful when I am removing this part. I don't want to be too rough with it. And then I'm just going to go up. I'm just going to move it from the big part of my logo. Oh, and I got to be careful with the website. Turn around so you can see it. And the numbers are very small and thin. And so I'm just weeding it. And now we still have to go in with that surgical tip and clean out those numbers. Otherwise, that's what's going to appear on my my t-shirt. So just weed it out like that. All right, and then you want to go in with your tool and just clean those little areas out. And that's one of the reasons why I love these tools, because it's so sharp and so precise, and it helps me get this part of the process done, which is very, very tedious. But because the points on these tools are so precise, it doesn't take any time to do this. So I'm going to finish this out, and then I'll meet you over by the heat press where I will have the t-shirt set up. Okay, so we are over by the heat press, and my heat press is already set. Okay, and so this is one of these $1.68 tanks, camo tanks. These tees that you can purchase at Walmart. And I guess since it's mine, I can pop the tag off. Alright. And this is the sliding drawer. Okay, so this heat press that I'm using is a heat press that I purchased from heatpressnation.com. This is the 16 by 24 sliding drawer, so the drawer slides out so I can avoid the heating area. And what I'm doing now is just going to just pre-press it for about 5 seconds so I can get the moisture out of the tank. And just for about 5 seconds. Alright, and the wrinkles out. And then I'm just going to kind of separate it a little bit, because the tag inside of this tank is also with some kind of material, vinyl material that will stick. Okay, and so I'm going to grab my safety gloves at this point, because I am working around this heat press that is very hot at this point. And so one of the things that we are going to be using is a pillow. Actually, I'm using a foam. It's not really a pillow. I can make them into pillows. If you all want to see that, just let me know. We're just using this foam. This foam is a special foam that is treated to withstand the heat. Okay, so what I like to do to get it inside of the tanks is I like to fold it and then open up the tank or the t-shirt like so, and then insert it in and pull it out through the other way, and then open it back up. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but you'll get the gist of it once I get it on properly. And so what's going to happen is, because this tank have those binding edges, that would pretty much burn or imprint into the shirt, and we're trying to avoid that, especially with the back. The back of it would burn into the front of the shirt. And so what I'm doing is just making sure that it's straight for my transfer. Okay, and so it is straight. Okay, so the transfer is going to be going here. Alright, so now I'm going to grab the transfer. I'm going to take off my gloves because we do have the drawer sliding out already. And so I'm not going to get burned. I just want to grab my transfer. Now remember, we had cut this with the Cricut maker and the reverse side or the mirror side, so it looked like this. But we're actually going to heat press it like this. Alright, and I'm just going to put it in the center of my tank like so. I'm just eyeballing it because it's mine. However, I do have like little rulers and tools that I could use to help me straighten this up, but I don't need to do that right now because it is mine. I'm going to turn it straight just to make sure that it's straight, and if it's not, then I can just reposition it like it is not straight. And so the first thing that I need to do is take this off again and make this tank top straight, because that is what's going to throw me off. Okay, so I like to just make sure that the 2 points here is going to meet up, and that this thing is straight. This top is straight. Alright, so now we look like we are good. Alright, now I can put it up here. Alright, and once again, this is mine, so I'm just eyeballing it. Doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to wear it anyway. Even if I don't wear it outside, I'll wear it inside to clean, or when I'm in my studio, that kind of thing. So if it's not perfect, oh well. Alright. And so I'm going to take it off and just hold it up. And it looks good to me. Okay, so at this point now, I'm just going to put it on the heat press. But I am also going to use a Teflon sheet to cover it. And I'm going to put my safety gloves back on, and I'm going to slide the drawer in. And I'm just going to make sure that my heat press is set at the right time and temperature. Okay, so my heat press is set at 330 degrees Fahrenheit, and it is set at 30 seconds, okay? And so this is a hot peel, which means that I have to pull off the plastic or the carrying sheet while it is hot. All right, so I'm just going to slide this straw inside, just like so. And I am just going to grab it, and press it down, and then watch the timer just goes down. Okay, it is ready. I'm going to slide it out, take off my Teflon sheet, and hopefully that doesn't get burned, but I can't grab it with my big gloves. I'm just peeling it off, making sure I stay away from that top platen, and then I'm going to press it once again with my Teflon sheet protecting it, just to kind of seal it in place. And I'm only going to press it for a couple of seconds. And this pretty much helps it hold up in the wash. And so I only do this for about 10 seconds. Then just take it off. Got something on my O there. That's okay. Alright, and so I'm going to take it off the machine, off the press, pull out my foam. Allow you to see how I have branded my t-shirt. So this is perfect for the summertime. I have a bunch of these. Once again, these are $1.68 at Walmart. You cannot beat this, okay? And so I wear these all through my studio, and even when I'm making deliveries, only that I like to have something that's covering my arms. So even if I have this on, I will wear like a open button down shirt just to give it a little bit more professional appearance. All right, and so that's all I have for you today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and if you do, click that little bell so you can be notified every time I upload a video. And you can always come and visit me on Facebook at CandiaHainsworth.com and Instagram at CandiaHainsworth, or you can join the group Embroidery Boss, where I am the president, and you can get help, get tips, give help, and see all kinds of ideas across the board in the embroidery industry. But you first must answer those 3 questions. And until then, I will see you next time.